Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Okay, some green color for the second day. It's interesting. Bitcoin broke 6,600, and some altcoins show even better performance. Also, some positive news. You're watching Crypto Hamster channel. Let's go.
Turn up. Let's go.
Let's start with some obvious news. So you remember that SEC did say that they probably will review the rejected ETFs, and they set the new date for the official start of the filing this process. Yesterday they said that they will review the applications from ProShares, DirexCoin and Granite Shares. So October 26th is the new deadline for the public to file statements in support or in opposition to those applications. So something is on the progress. It doesn't mean that they will accept those one day, but still, if that would be completely hopeless, then why in the first place they would ever do that? So it seemed to be buy the rumors, sell the news, in my opinion. Okay, let's look at the second thing. Continuing the story from the Circle and the Goldman Sachs. They actually continuing doing some investment in the crypto space. So what they did is they acquire the equity crowdfunding platform. So Circle has inked a deal to acquire Speed Invest, an equity crowdfunding startup, to help privately held small business raise capital from individual, accredited or retail investors. And this is why not to push crypto space further? It seems like this is the sentiment from Goldman Sachs these days. So it seemed like those guys are heavily, I wouldn't say investing, but at least they believe in the space. And if other banks, other financial institutions will follow at least in this direction, it will be a nice positive indicator for the field in general. So probably it will affect the price as well. And some news in the the neighborhood fields. You see that not only the crypto area can experience this sudden drops. So here is the performance of the huge conventional markets. AMD last week 11% down, Netflix 6% down, PayPal 5%, MasterCard 4% down. So this is actually quite a bloodbath for them. And you remember it was Facebook 20% down once recently. So I would say the traditional markets experience some problems. I wouldn't say it's just a correction. I think it's the first indicators of probably the I wouldn't say crash, but some problems on the way. And there's a question whether it will be a help for crypto or not, at least in our interest, right? We'll see, but interesting to see. Finally, Bitcoinish news. So what we have just recently, during this hour from the point I was recording this video, after this relatively long trading sideways, Bitcoin made a sudden sharp rise, making sort of flag, which is not really, but anyway, broke this 6,666 level and even reached 6,740, but didn't sustain there, fell back very sharply, and now we are again below this level. Actually, a lot of the altcoins are following in the green. This jump was more for like pushing altcoins one chain. You see 6% continuing to trading in the wedge, like still some of the in the red, but actually XRP, although now it's like minus 1%, but it made a little bit a rise. So what I was going to say is this is not actually a bad thing, like well, very apparently it's not a bad thing, but I mean it may be just a collection of stops, like if you were considering this yellow triangle or whatever it was here. But the thing is, we're attempting to make sorry for the noise around here. We're attempting to make a sort of a new maybe higher high maybe eventually, and this is like the initial attempts for that, but maybe it's just a collection of the stops, because otherwise it's really unsustainable. But anyway, if we'll stay above this yellow line and we'll continuing to pushing this red level over and over again, probably, well, the more you approach this level, the more you test it, the more likely you will break it eventually. So I would say we will break it very soon, because so many attempts were made before. Probably will hold above this, and if altcoins will follow, probably it's like a few days of the bull trend or something like that. Not financial advice as usual, don't forget that. Just want to show also some minor updates. You may remember we mentioned Maker as one of the promising coins in the top 30 or whatever. It showed actually some positive rise. It's not, well, this is was the volume here, you see, and here was the reaction of the crowd on this volume. I didn't really check any like news, but nothing from the listing point of view, just some positive movement. I think that may be an indicator of the more long-term rise finally, because it was rather flat for all the time. So just interesting. You see, we mentioned it and start to grow. And the Medi block, you remember, it was the huge rise of Medi block, and then it wasn't that a bad idea to short it, because of during the listing it's always like that. You have the crazy rise, or not that crazy, but just some rise, and now we have a correction of this rise, like 50% or more. So we'll see whether it will stay there, at least this like 80% rise from the initial position. It's not that bad either if you had held it, and you can still sell it, because you know it can drop, but nice volume. So this is it for today, I guess. Hope it was useful. If it was, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you like this content. And I see you tomorrow, guys. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye.